Welcome to The Common Fan, your go-to podcast for SEC smack talk, top 25 game day predictions, and fan-first football takes in college or the NFL. Here is your host, Bryce Tillman. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and let's talk ball.
Yes, welcome on in, everybody, to another episode of the Common Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Bryce Tillman. Joining me as always, Kyle Dewitt, Cameron Williams. The SEC is loaded as of today with new coaches, so moving from team to team in conference. Lane Kiffin, Lane Whiffin, Polo Draw Sipping. Cameron, got to start with you with this one, man. I know you cannot stand Ole Miss, cannot stand Lane Kiffin. Give me your thoughts on how he handled this whole situation, and we'll dive into the details on it.
I know this is kind of a controversial answer, but if you're leaving a team and you got them into the playoffs, I'm with Ole Miss. I don't think that if we're not good enough for you now, then why should I let you continue to coach a team? Even though you're in the playoffs, you got them there, whatever. If we're not good enough for you, then you decide you want to go somewhere else and go. I don't know why he was fighting so much about wanting to coach his team. Well, you could have coached your team. You could have stayed right here, but you didn't. So, no, it's a great day for state fans. I know we caught a lot of slack. We're still rebuilding, and we catch a lot of slack for saying that. But at the end of the day, it is the truth. And Lebby's in his second year and didn't fare well this year, but it is improvement. And now we get to see Ole Miss to see if they, lose some of their roster, if they go to LSU, if they transfer out, how Petey does. So, no, I don't know, man. I hate it for the team. I hate it for what Ole Miss, because what I'm understanding, Ole Miss said that they will give him whatever LSU's giving him. And for you to continue to say you're not good enough, that just speaks to the person that you are. It's not a money thing. It's not about the money or a business decision. This is all strictly what you want to do, and it's about you. So,
Kyle, Lane Kiffin coming in on a 7-year deal for approximately $12 million, up the incentives to make him the highest paid football coach in college football right now. If he meets the expectations of the incentives, I mean, does LSU? Do you think that their fans have to worry that Kiffin will do this to them in a few years? I mean, surely to God, they don't think that they're just the top of the pedestal, the best job in college. I mean, don't get me wrong. LSU's a great job in college football. A lot of coaches would love to be there. But you cannot tell me as an LSU fan that you feel very warm and cozy about how Kiffin's done his whole career.
And we talked about this just a minute ago. And I'm really hoping in 4 years, when this don't work out, that Bama does not try and call Kiffin, because he's gonna jump. If he'll jump to LSU from Ole Miss, he will jump from LSU to Bama if Bama calls. I hope it doesn't come down to that. But yeah, they need to worry. They need to worry. He did it to Tennessee, did USC. He did to Ole Miss. He's just gonna keep doing it. Not saying he's not a good coach. He is a very good coach. He's got the longest 10-game win streak, seasons, 3 in a row out of any other coach in college football, I think. Maybe Ryan Day has 10. Gave Ole Miss their first 11-game win season. I mean, dude's doing it. But I think he kind of, like you said, he kind of sat back and said, okay, I'm doing the most I can right now, and we're not winning SEC championships, and we're not winning national championships. So he started looking and said, okay, where can I do this at? We talked about it. If he goes to LSU, it's going to be rough, because LSU can recruit by themselves. They don't need a head coach to recruit. So, I don't know, man. I think the fans do have to worry for him to do it in a couple years. I don't know. I'm torn on this decision.
I want to ask you that, both of y'all, this. Do you think that the public eye of Kiffin now is kind of tampered? Like, do you feel like people are saying, you can't really trust this guy?
Everybody but an LSU fan.
They're saying, oh, that's typical Kiffin. That's what he left off on when he left Tennessee, went to USC, left USC, went to the Raiders, went back to USC, got fired. Then he goes to Bama. And you know what? You know what blows my mind the most? And Kyle, you can probably vividly remember this. When he took the job at FAU, He wanted to try to coach the national championship game, and Nick Saban told him, "No, get out of here,
Get going." Yeah.
So why is he so shocked that that the athlete? What was his name? Keith
Carter.
Keith Carter. Why is he so shocked that Keith Carter said, "No, if you want to abandon our program and leave us in the when we have a chance to go get a national championship, go. But you're not coaching us. You're not going to continue to tamper with this roster, tamper with this coaching staff. We don't want you here." And Ole Miss deserves that respect. So, and then Kiffin comes out today, and he's on this plane, and he texts everybody from his offensive staff and says, "Get on this plane before it takes off, or you won't have a job at LSU with me. Be here now."
But Ole Miss clapped back. But Ole Miss clapped back and said, "You know what? How can we retain the staff? Bam, let's hire Petey Boy. Let's promote Petey Boy there.
Yeah.
He keeps, he's got a big." Yeah, that was a great move by Ole Miss because I think 4 people ended up getting on the plane. LSU sent 2 planes supposedly for all these people that Lane was bringing with him, and they said they didn't even need the second plane.
Yeah, and here's my thing on Pete Goldman, right? So he was the defensive coordinator for Alabama years 2018 through 2022. So he's defensive coordinator for 2 national championships. He knows how to win. He's the defensive coordinator, been the defensive coordinator since 2022 at Ole Miss. Defense hasn't been terrible. He knows how to win, and they're bought into him. That's their best hire, their best move they could have made.
Yeah, especially such short notice, right? Having to pull the gun, like a quick to the draw with it. Golding helps retain a lot of the roster, helps keep a lot of the recruiting intact. They're gonna have decommits. They had decommitments today. They're gonna have people that's gonna enter transfer portal. We've seen a few enter it today already for them. There's people that's gonna follow Kiffin, but there's also players on that roster that are going to stay and fight. And when not only did they say that Pete Golden was not just going to be the interim coach, he is going to be the coach for next year. He's getting a contract with them. He is the coach. So I think that was a great way for Ole Miss to handle this. And I don't blame Lane Kiffin for taking the LSU job. I don't blame him for taking it. I think the way he handled this is a red flag, which as Kiffin is notorious for having red flags, trolling on social media.
His whole fan base, right?
And trolling the fans, man, just, coming out, wanting Ole Miss to think that he was going to stay there, where if he could have just been upfront and honest 2 weeks prior to this, when all this come out, hey, look, I am probably leaving, going to take this job, but I am going to stay here and coach this team if you allow me. If not, we need to go ahead and get this in play to go ahead and start getting this worked out for, Golding or whoever to come in. That way I'm not trying to burn too many bridges and blindside y'all. He didn't even give them the respect for that, man. He has zero respect for the SEC and, the Ole Miss specifically. He has zero respect for it. That's not how coaches operate. You don't see any other coach in the country operating like that at a major program.
So, and the big thing for me, the AD, Keith Carter?
Keith Carter.
He really stood on business. He didn't allow Lane Kiffin to go in and break the news to his guys. He broke it. Yeah. Did you see the video where he's like, all right, during this time we found that we had to find someone to lead y'all, and we have hired a leader of men. And he said, Pete Golden, come on. And they went crazy. Yeah. And then you got Lane Kiffin complaining about how he wasn't allowed to go talk to his team. Screw you. Sorry. I mean, you wanted to be disrespectful and not say, hey, LSU, let's talk in January. That's on you, dog. Made your bed, lay in it.
Cameron, there was something that come up on Locked On SEC on their live show today that dropped, and they were talking about, we have all these rules implemented for players and the transfer portals for what players can do and what they can't do, and regulate when they can leave, when they can't leave. Is this a prime example of possibly having to start doing this for coaches too? Like saying a coach is not allowed to be tampered with or talked to by another agent until after this date, like January 2nd or something like that?
Yeah, because that's what I was just thinking. So luckily Ole Miss had someone to fall back on, but just say Petey Boy got on that plane, went to LSU.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is scrambling. Tuesday is your high school recruit signing day and your JUCO day. So what happens if all of a sudden today, Lane's leaving, right? Well, all these recruits are like, crap, I got to sign in 2 days. Who am I going to pick? Well, Ole Miss is in the air, so I'm going to, go with these other guys I've been thinking about. So it kind of hurts the program as a whole. And luckily, Petey, he's going to step up, so I think they'll be able to retain a lot of those recruits. But that's still it was very bad timing for all this to play out. But at the same time, it's right in the middle of college playoff season. So, it's a lot on the coaches to make that decision too.
Yeah, I just think the whole situation's ugly the way it was handled. I think most people can agree with that. And honestly, most rational LSU fans will agree that this is pretty ugly work here. And they can sit here and paint this beautiful picture of, oh, it's LSU, oh, it's this, it's that. At the end of the day, man, they can sit back and say what they want to. In 3-4 years, they'll be worried about the same thing. I promise you that. Bookmark this show and come back to it. So why that not be the best situation in college football right now for them two teams? I think they're trying to find the best case scenario right now for them. Arkansas, not like that, buddy. They're trying to hire Ryan Silverfield. The fans' reaction to that was like anything that I have ever seen in college football. They are literally outside of the stadium protesting right now to not hire a coach that beat them when he coached at Memphis. He beat Arkansas, and they're protesting on not hiring him right now.
Yeah, I've seen that the disrespect, and I kind of told Tag this today. Tag was on Facebook and he was complaining about John Summerall being a Sun Belt guy, but at the end of the day, and we talked about it, what Power 4 coaches want to leave their program? I mean, you've seen the main ones. Signetti said, "I don't want to go nowhere." They said, "I don't want to go nowhere." You have elite people want to hire these elite coaches, these elite guys. Well, everybody's locked in. Lanning doesn't want to go anywhere. To me, your best options was the hire of your Power 5 or Group of 5 teams, like the Summeralls, like the Golish, which we've been talking about Golish all year. Golish. Silverfield, I mean, I don't hate that hire. Did they fall apart at the end of the season? Yeah, it was on the door of the playoffs, but I don't know. I feel like that's a decent hire. I don't completely hate that one. So I'll be honest with you. The one that really surprised me is Ole Miss. I feel like they would have went for somebody who is a head coach that's not just a coordinator. But, I mean, like you said, their time was limited, so they made a move.
It's really at the point, Kyle, to where you have to choose between a Group of 5 head coach or a Power 4 offensive coordinator or a coordinator in general that you want to try out for a coach. And, I know Arkansas was trying to work on a deal with Golish. Seems like something slipped through at the end there that, Auburn coming to the picture. And I think they offered a little bit more money. But, I mean, let's be honest. When it comes to choosing between a head coach job at Auburn and Arkansas, I don't think money is really a big factor in that. I mean, we're just being honest with it, And so my thing is if you're an Arkansas fan, if you don't like the Ryan Silverfield hire, who are you going to get? Who was you expecting to get? If it didn't work out with Golish, you had to have a backup plan. And it seems like that's what happened here is that wasn't their plan B that they fell back to. But for the fans, to act like that, they said there was more fans out there protesting outside of the stadium right now than there was at the last home game for them. And that just tells you all you need to know about that fan base right there.
That is crazy.
I get it. Y'all are not the best, college team in the SEC or, Power 4 or whatever, but I mean, you don't want to get the reputation of trying to rush. They haven't even released the contract because they don't even know if he's going to take the job now because they're protesting. They won't even release the details of the contract because he hasn't signed it.
But do you think it's fair for a team like Florida, and I know y'all seen it, they have disrespected Summerall about that hire. They did not that hire.
When we move on to Florida, I got a good no, answer your questions. No, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. It's not fair.
But I mean, like you said, who are you going to get? Because we talked about it. I talked to you about. I mean, right now you think of who's a major hire that would be an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and we talked about it. Durkin would have been decent. I think Ben Arbuckle before long he'll be a coach, so even in Group of 5 somewhere. Someone like that. That's really your only proven guys that deserve, I guess, some of these starting jobs or head coach jobs. But I don't know, man. I think it's all just a cluster of coaches, and the best coaches who are taken care of, like Oregon's taking care of Lanning, Cignetti's being taken care of, Ryan Day's not going anywhere. I think that just shows, that they want to keep these guys and they're loyal to their programs.
Yeah. So with that being said, these next 2 teams that I'm going to bring up with their new coaches, I'm going to kind of do them together because there's a cool story behind why this coach ended up at this school versus that school. And that comes next right here on the Common Fan Podcast. All right, so the next 2 coaches we're going to talk about here is Alex Golesh getting the head coaching position at Auburn and John Sumrall getting the head coaching position at Florida. And if you have kept up with the coaching carousel and the race the whole time for Auburn since Hugh Freeze, even before Hugh Freeze was fired, there was a lot of smoke and a lot of actually an MOU signed for Sumrall to become Auburn's next head coach. Well, it shifted in the past couple of days. If y'all remember me texting y'all, telling y'all, hey, look, Florida's picking up, and y'all seen it on social media and stuff. Florida's picking up a lot of steam from Sumrall. Seems like Lane Kiffin's not going to – he's withdrew his name from the Florida chase. Now Sumrall's predicted to go to Florida. Well, I have had a lot of people reach out to me and said, what happened? I thought Sumrall was our guy. My answer to that is, so did I. So I got to deep diving and talking to people and also just listening to a couple shows here and there. What happened with this, with Auburn and John Sumrall, was originally when John Cohen interviewed John Sumrall, he let him know up front how not demanding, but how important it was for him to consider retaining DJ Durkin to help with roster retention, which shouldn't be a hard sell because DJ Durkin's got one of the best defenses in the country, right? If I'm a coach coming into a conference that I've never been a head coach at, and you have a defense coordinator there that's got one of the best defenses in the conference country, it would be an easy sell for me to say, yeah, I can get on board with that. So what Sumrall said was, look, I won't guarantee it, but what I will do is do due diligence and interview Durkin as a head coach and see where we stand and see if make my decision after that. John Cohen said, that's the athletic director for Auburn, so that's fine. That's great. Let's do that. Well, when it comes down to it, it leaks out inside the Auburn program that John Cohen was working on an extension for DJ Durkin and also adding in assistant head coach to him this season before it turned into next season when Sumrall got there. That did not sit well with John Sumrall. He did not like that. He said, that's not what we talked about. I said I was going to interview him and make my decision, and you've kind of pressed this on me without my consent. I don't like that. So his agent, then John Sumrall's agent, finds a way to ploy and push. Oh, this is a good time to try to get more money out of them. Let's push them now because they've hurt our feelings. Let's get more money. Well, John Cohen stood on business. He said no. He said I let you know from the front that this was what the game plan was, and then at that point, Florida kind of come in out of I'm not going to say desperation, but it really was when they found out that Kiffin wasn't coming to them, offered him money, a little bit more money through incentives. And so therefore that's how the favor shifted to John Sumrall going to Florida, ultimately why they signed Sumrall today there at Florida.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, we talked about it before, but that's kind of where these ADs have to kind of be careful. I mean, you know as well as I do, LSU's been hurting for a few years now. They're hungry. They're tired of losing, and that's not the LSU way. So what Kiffin's going to have to deal with now is not only is he going to have to deal with the school, but you got the governor of the state breathing down your neck.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. So No, I don't think that your Josh Heupels and your Eli Drinkwitz, I don't think they have to worry about nobody breathing down their back. They're doing what they want to do with their programs. So I can see why a lot of them guys are kind of extending, but at the same time, I feel like, yeah, you're probably right. John Summerall knows that's what's happening because I'm sure he's been in talks with LSU too when they were all, doing their bid wars. But anyways, he knew that was going to be an issue with LSU, that he's got to deal with the whole state, not just in his program. And maybe John Summerall was a little bit quick to the trigger on that, but I respect his decision to say, hey, if I'm going to be the program leader, I'm going to be the program leader too. So.
Kyle, do you think that it was a terrible idea for this AD to come out and say, hey, it's pretty important that we keep this guy, especially for roster retention? Do you think that was a bad – I don't think that was a bad point. What I do have an issue with is that John Cohen did not run the extension by him or the AHC title by Summerall.
Yeah. I think that was a big move for the AD because DJ Durkin does have a pretty good defense. I mean, like you said, they're top 2 or 3 in the conference and maybe even top 10 or 15 in the country, if not a little higher. For John Summerall to be like, I don't want to keep him or I don't like that, it makes me, again, I hate to say this, but it makes me appreciate the Golish hire more because I told y'all a month ago, whoever gets Golish is getting a big hire. So for Golish to come in and say, yep, I'm good with that, I'm keeping him because he does have one of the best defenses in the conference. That makes it that much better for Auburn fans.
Yeah, and so John Summerall and Alex Golish have the same agent. So when the news broke out that what happened with Summerall, Golish was contacted by Auburn, who he had already done an interview with when the job opening first come out. And that was the mysterious candidate for Auburn. Apparently, this whole time, you kept seeing that they had John Summerall, DJ Durkin, or a mysterious candidate. Well, it was Golish. So Golish's agent is the same one as John Summerall's, and he lets him know what's going on. Alex Golish says, we'll tackle that when I get there. I want the job. He said, let's get it. He said, I want this job. I want to get there. We're going to make it happen. And the first thing that he did when he got there, he said, where's Durkin at? Me and him supposed to sit down. I want him. I want to make sure that he understands how much I need him here, how much I want him. So it sounds like that all it boils down to is that Golish wanted Summerall. Golish wanted Durkin. Summerall wanted to make the choice on his own to decide that. But going into what you was talking about, Cameron, with the Florida fans and how they're reacting to John Summerall is unfair because they are so scared to death that he's going to be just like Billy Napier.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, it's unfair because who are you going to get? That's my point of that.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody out there, in my opinion, that is the top 2 guys, Golish and Summerall. That's who I would want, I would want them over offensive coordinator. So,
because they've shown that they know how to win as a head coach.
Yeah.
And Kyle, the comparison between John Summerall and Billy Napier is such a lazy take because I promise you, if you go back and you watch Billy Napier, even when he was the head coach in University of Louisiana, wasn't that where he was at? Raging.
Yeah.
When Billy was there and when Billy was the on-field coach at Florida, I promise you, Billy Napier and John Summerall do not match energy on this planet at all. Like John Summerall is 150% in when he's coaching. His on the field, his off the field, his interviews, his post-conference, like everything about him says winner. So I'm sorry that Florida went through this coaching carousel and it was a bad project with Billy. And I understand the frustration of hiring another group of 5 coach. But Florida fans, if you're watching this show, I want you to know that you have a good coach. You've got to give him a chance.
Yeah, got to give him a chance.
The only caveat between Golish and Summerall that could be a potential concern for Florida is Golish is an offensive-minded coach who calls his plays and has co-offensive coordinators that are coming with him. His whole offensive staff is coming from USF to Auburn. And if he retains Durkin, then that covers both sides of the ball. Whereas Summerall is a defensive coach, and he has to get to Florida, and his number one priority is hitting a home run hire at offensive coordinator. And if he gets that wrong, it could be bad for Summerall his first year. He's got to get that offensive coordinator hire, and he's got to get it right the first time, because you're not going to have a lot of chances at Florida. They're kind of over their chances.
Yeah, in today's world, everything's offense. You know, it used to be all defense who can load the box and tackle guys, but nowadays it's who can be more crafty on the offensive side. And I'm like you, Bryce. I think that he's going to have to make a knockout hire to make this be a good hire for Florida.
Yeah. So
I mean, who do you think it would be? Who's the best offensive coordinator that would come? Joe Brady? That'd be wild.
I don't know, man. I would have said Eric Morris. I would have said Eric Morris, the head coach of North Texas, but he took the job as a head coach for Oklahoma State, which was a fantastic hire by Oklahoma State. They killed it on that hire. Killed it on that hire. I don't know, Kyle. That's a good question, man. I honestly have no idea. Hugh Freeze. Call Hugh Freeze.
Oh, gosh. Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, call Gus.
Dude, speaking of
Brian Harsin. Brian Harsin.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of a good hire by Oklahoma State, what about Oregon State?
Yeah.
Taking a chance at my boy Shep.
Yeah, that was a good hire. What's his name? Jamarcus Shepard? Is that right?
Jamarcus Shepard. Yep. He is a big time receiving recruiter, right? He's got some good receivers he's recruited. But not only that, and I didn't know this, he's also the assistant coach. And he has a lot to do with, DeBoer's every day. So him leaving, and everything I've seen from Alabama program and then the fans, like, they've treated him with nothing but respect. They're even going to let him coach in the SEC championship. Like, I mean, they're saying, like, hey, dude, good luck. Go. But
well, that's the same way Summerall was too. Florida's allowing Summerall to finish out with Tulane, which was a mutual respect kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's fine to do if you're a Group 5 coach coming up. I think that's okay. I don't think, I don't blame
rival conference. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I don't agree with that. You asked about an offensive coordinator, and if John Summerall, I think that he could hit a home run here if he reached out to Georgia Tech and offered Buster Faulkner from Georgia Tech. If he could get Buster Faulkner there in Florida as an OC and, pay him $1.5 million, $2 million more a year, I think that could be a good hire for him. And Will Stein also from Oregon, if he could get him to come back south, come down here and be an offensive coordinator, be kind of a downgrade, I would think, leaving Oregon as an OC to Florida.
You know who I just thought of? And this could be one of the ones where he gets it wrong, is Nick Sheardon. Because he's just a quarterback's coach for Bama right now. He was the OC, was it not last year, but the year before? Or was he last year? No, he was last year. Nick Sheardon was last year, and then he stayed on so that he could learn from Grubb.
There was a name that just left me. I wanted to say that would be a good one. Hang on just a second. Let me look it up. Go ahead, Charles. What was you saying?
Charles Huff for USM.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, the offensive coordinator for Texas Tech, too, would be a good one. Mac Leftwich, that would be a really good hire, too, if I could get him. But Texas Tech got that money, dog, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they match that.
So, is that it on the coaching for the day? I mean, there was so many coaches that was hired today. I don't even –
Michigan State and Kentucky fired their coaches. I saw that. That's only the two I can think of.
So Mark Stoops is fired? I did not see that.
I didn't see it there. Hey, what about this guy? SMU coordinator, Casey Woods.
Casey Woods. I don't know enough about him to make an assessment on him, but seems like SMU has a pretty decent offense with Kevin Jennings. They lost. SMU lost. Wow.
Yeah, they got beaten overtime. Close game.
Nice.
Yeah. What about this? And I think we talked about it a little bit. Duke going to the ACC championship, right? And Duke winning, if they do, how that'll shake up the college football playoff, and the ACC could be left out.
This is
So
the same, man.
I was looking at all the rules, and it does state that those two auto bids are for the next highest ranked conference champions, JMU and Tulane. So if JMU and Tulane win, that's your 11 and 12 spot.
Yeah.
How bad of a conference? How bad of a conference do you have to be to get two Group of 5 schools in ahead of you? Man, oh man!
They need to do away with the Group of 5 auto bids. Like that's.
I don't know. Miami got. Well, they got the short end of the stick on that, didn't they?
Well, I mean, they're 2 loss. I mean, 2 loss to SMU and.
Oh, speaking of that, let's talk about this. What do y'all think about? I know y'all watched the Texas A&M game. Did y'all see Sarkisian's spiel on how it would be a disgrace to college football if they don't let them in?
Do you want my honest take on that?
That was a little abrupt.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Do you want my honest take on that?
I do.
I think Steve Sarkisian was factual in every word he said. That's what I think. I think Texas is one of the top 12 best teams in this country right now.
Absolutely. Did you see his and Marcel Reed's?
Without the loss to OSU, there's no question they're in.
They're in.
The only downside, the Florida loss, man. The Florida loss.
That's right. But he was also 1,000% correct when he said, if you want to look at us losing to a Florida team last year, he said, won't y'all take into consideration that Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois last year, and they Notre Dame was in the national championship. So I think what Steve Sarkisian was completely right. I think that Texas is one of the top 12 best teams in this country right now, and I hate that the way the structure of the college football playoffs is set up right now by a committee. And I personally think I'm one of the few that think that with a 12-team playoff now, you should go back to the computerized BCS system and that let it generate the 12 best teams in the country and then put them in the playoffs. That's what I think.
You'd have Vanderbilt and Texas in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those are two of the best teams to get in.
They're the best, yeah. They're one of the best.
Like that, Vanderbilt could make a deep run.
So let's go into some of these recaps of the rivalry weekend, and we'll start with like we just talked about, Texas A&M and Texas. And I'll just shoot it straight to y'all. Point blank period. Texas wanted this ball game way more than Texas A&M did.
Dude. Yeah. But, I know you guys aren't big fans of Brandon Walker, but he did say it best. He said, have we not considered that all these teams that A&M has beaten, they're undefeated, has been the lower half of the SEC?
And it has.
True.
Yeah.
And they and that goes to show, that like what I sent y'all in the group chat today about Auburn. Every one of their losses to the bigger name teams were within a touchdown. Texas A&M beat Auburn by 6 points.
Yeah.
Three of Auburn's losses right now are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
they lost by a touchdown.
That was a great, like you said, I seen the stats between Arch Manning and Marcel Reed. And, bro, they're very similar.
Yeah.
For Reed to be such a big Heisman candidate and Arch is totally out, it's kind of mind-blowing. But I wish State would have just capitalized there and just – we
wouldn't be having this conversation.
We won't be talking about it, no.
So Texas beats Texas A&M 27-17. Georgia coming in against Georgia Tech at a neutral site in Atlanta. Neutral site, Atlanta. Georgia Tech school was literally in Atlanta, but it was 20 minutes up the road from them. So Georgia wins 16-9. Georgia Tech got dominated in this game. Yeah, they got the ball ran down their throat the whole game. The caveat to this game was Georgia Tech making the key stops to keep this game so close. It was 240 yards, right? Yeah, the interception. I think that Georgia rushed for 240. Is that right? Is that what I seen earlier?
That rush game for Georgia though, it has come on, dog.
No, I was
The back
way
half
off.
of the
190.
season,
It's turned it on.
yeah, they turned
only-
the rush game on.
Georgia only rushed for 190 yards. I could have sworn it was more than that.
I don't think they had Stockton. Did he have a lot of pass yards?
70.
Yeah, I didn't think
he
it was
didn't have
much.
much at all.
They run the ball 44 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was
But Kirby
a
said in
decent
this
game.
post game, he said, that's what we want to do. We want to get up, we want to line up and just run the ball and control the clock, control the game, and get out there with a win. And that's what they did. Georgia takes down Georgia Tech to go to 11-1. Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. This game was
Was not much of a
interesting
game.
at first. It was interesting at first, and there was actually a fight broke out for a half, right? On the field,
Yeah.
benches clearing.
Yeah, what about Kiffin
Nice.
stepping up on Zach Selman? And Zach Selman was just like standing on business, like, you can get it too right here, buddy.
Yeah.
Just smoked it.
I love seeing
Just
that.
smoked it.
I'll touch on that game a little bit. Look, I know we talked about at the beginning of the season. I predicted the state would get to a bowl game. Hindsight's 2020. They should have been bowl eligible by now. There's 3 games they should have won. Coaching got them out of it. But at the end of the day, that's a much improved team from last year.
Yeah.
You see the future. I hate that Lebby waited 12 games to start KMO, but that's the future of the team there.
So, and that could have been a red shirt reasoning too. Not wanting him to lose a red shirt.
Yeah, but the fact of it is he still played in the games.
Right. Yeah, but it depends on the quarters played.
Yeah, I don't think
I think it's like
I think
12 quarters. You can't get your red shirt or 10
This,
quarters.
hang on, just got to interrupt y'all real quick. This just in, Kentucky is expected to fire Mark Stoops with the process set to formally play out on Monday. So
You know how much his
Kentucky
buyout
is
was?
firing Mark Stoops.
$40 million.
Ugh.
$40 million.
40 million?
Gosh.
And he said
When
that
was
they would have to
contract
beat him out
signed?
of there with a poopy mop to get him. He's not walking away.
All right, go back to your game. I just had to
Anyways,
say
yeah.
that.
So, but anyways, no. Kamario Taylor is a star in the making. I mean, he's dude run for 45 yards on Ole Miss's defense for a scramble touchdown. Broke 3 tackles to get there. Had a deep shot. Really had a long pass to Brendan Thompson that any other defender on him, that would have been a touchdown. The guy for Ole Miss, I forget his name, put his hand in there. I mean, at the
Brendan Thompson's got to catch that daggone ball. That
He
hand
does,
did not
he does.
affect that much of it. He should have
No,
caught
you're
that
right.
ball.
But a perfect pass. That was on the money by
Yeah.
Kamo. So looking forward next year, what I'm looking for is I'm hoping Mississippi State fires defensive coordinator Coleman Hutzler. I think last year Coleman Hutzler defense was like 123rd, and this year he's 99th the defense overall. So terrible showing on the defense. They got to get some good recruits here. I feel like they got some good recruits from what I'm seeing on the on 3 and 247. If their recruiting class comes through that they're getting, they'll have some good talent coming up. So I'm looking forward to the future. I hate that we didn't get bowl eligible here, but at the end of the day, we talked about preseason. They're much improved. So if we get that same jump next year, we'll be all right.
Yeah. So, yeah, and now Ole Miss is going on to the playoffs without their head coach. So, ain't that something?
Good coach.
What a guy. What a guy.
They got their head coach, Big Pete.
Oh, Petey.
They got their new head coach, excuse me. Man, what a time to start, right? Right in the playoffs. Let's get it.
Here, thrown to the wolves, dude.
Number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, takes down the number 15 team in the country, Michigan, 27-9. This snaps a 5-year streak of Michigan beating Ohio State. Guys, I think we've pretty much said it all season. I'm kind of just going to keep standing on it. Ohio State really is the best team in the country to me right now.
I watched that game from the front to the end, and it was snowing, wet ball everywhere, and they handled Michigan. I mean, it really should have been worse than what it was. It was more of clock management, controlling the ball on Ohio State side, but they handled them all quarters of the game.
Yeah. I am ready to see them in the playoffs because, like, naturally you're gonna look at their schedule and say, well, they're not playing just a crazy strength of schedule, right? But they're still good. They're still easily number one team. But I am ready to see them get really tested by playing, someone that is really good. Also, not
they're
just
fixing to get it right here in the Big Ten championship.
That's what I'm ready to see is the Big Ten championship. But then again, back to what I was saying, both of those teams going in and playing, some teams that they haven't played.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I think playoffs gonna be good this year.
I am glad to see Dave Portnoy be upset and have to take that flight back home. Sad.
Jeez,
I tell you who else.
$12 million quarterback.
Yeah. I tell you who else got daggum steamrolled, and that is Tennessee, son. Vanderbilt belted them cheeks for them, 45-24. Diego Pavia, man, he doesn't have to play the best game. He just knows how to daggum win. What a guy.
Send him to New York.
Yeah, put him in New York. Hey, have y'all heard the smoke of him getting another year?
The what?
Y'all heard the smoke of him getting another year eligibility?
There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
I seen it a while back, but I seen where he said that's cap or something like that.
I know, man. It's coming back up. I just keep seeing it in threads that he's filing. I don't know if it's probably rumors, but it's filing for us. Yeah.
So you know how the SEC has its 3 annual opponents now?
Yeah.
Right. So it would be Auburn's luck that Vanderbilt just decides to be this powerhouse in the SEC now, and they have to play them every year, along with Alabama and Georgia. So
Mississippi State does too. Mississippi State's Power 3 is Alabama, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt. So
we're right there.
I love that we're playing State again. That's always a good game.
Yeah, 45 minutes down the road.
Yep,
that's crazy. I did not realize they were that close together.
Yeah, I knew it was like an hour. I thought it was
like an hour.
45 minutes. That's crazy.
It's not far.
Depends on who's driving.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're driving my truck, you get a ticket through there.
I hate I-20.
Kyle's supposed to drive right, man. He encourages all of his customers to drive right as well. So
I have a ticket in my truck that says otherwise.
If you need cheap insurance, call Kyle, do it. But he's going to tell you to drive right. All right. Let's see. All right, I guess we'll cover this daggum game. The Iron Bowl, Alabama, number 10 in the nation, comes in and takes the cake in Jordan-Hare, 27-20. Alabama jumped out to a 17-0 lead. Auburn finding a way to get 3 points and then scored again right before halftime, making it 17-6.
Where you at, Cam?
Fumble. Auburn just fumbled the bag, man. They just cannot close. Dude, that's just the culture in Auburn. That's just who they are. And I don't know. I hope Alex Gillis can change it.
I'm going to say this, and I'm not just saying it because it's the Iron Bowl. I genuinely think that was the best defense Bama has played this year. And I said that about OU. OU's defense was good. They did get in their head a little bit more than Ty Simpson, but I think the OU game prepared Ty for the Auburn game a little bit more. And I say that with him going 19 for 35, 122 yards, but he still had 3 touchdowns. And on the 4th and 2, got to have a score to put the game away. Freaking put your nuts on the table. I mean, I even texted you. I was like, this is stupid. Go for the points. And what do they do? They capitalize and score. So it goes to show that for me, even though it looked ugly, he still knew how to put his team in a situation to win. Auburn just fumbled the bag, too many drops. That game was closer than I wanted it.
Well, I was going to say that both of y'all, look, y'all are both, I mean, for y'all are like, man, I wish we could put this game away. But outside of looking in, it's Iron Bowl. So I was like, man, I hope this thing gets tied up. It goes into overtime. We're having a shootout. That's what all the fans want to see that's watching this game. Because at the end of the day, I picked Alabama. I thought Alabama was going to win. But when it was getting close and it was becoming a game, they come back from 17-0. I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, boy. I was like, oh, boy, here we go.
I was ready for it. But man, I hate it. I hate it because Cam Coleman and Singleton, they have been automatic all year. You get the ball near them, they're catching it. And them boys, I
I could have bent both of them over and whooped their tails after that game. They pissed me off so bad, man, so bad.
So Cam Coleman's getting a lot of backlash and scrutiny right now, and I want to say this: the dude has been unreal this year. He goes up against another last year, right? They were both true freshmen, Cam Coleman and Xavier Brown, and they battled last year. Cam Coleman got a little bit on him last year. This year, Xavier Brown came out well prepared, and he got the one up on Cam. But the dude catches a screen pass with 30-something seconds to go. He makes one cut, makes a guy miss a tackle, and he sees the end zone. He's a playmaker. What do you expect him to do? Then you get one-on-one with Bray Hubbard, though. I mean, it just
man.
He's trying to score.
You had one timeout though. You have to have more situational awareness there, and you have to say, I'm getting that. If you got Bray Hubbard and Brown right there beside you, you got to step out of bounds, save the time.
I agree 100%. But him being a competitive person said, "Oh, I can make Bray Hubbard miss, and I'm going for the end zone," because he would have. If he makes Bray Hubbard miss, that's 6.
But at the end of the day, the drop passes hurt him here because there was multiple third down and shorts. I think it was even fourth down there. I know Jeremiah Cobb, the interception was. I don't know if Daniels just.
I don't think that was Cobb.
That's
number 29. Number 29.
I thought it was Cobb.
Justin Jones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, the pass hit him both hands, goes in the air. Bray Hubbard picks it.
That was bad.
I mean, you got to have those. I don't know if Daniels just putting it on him too fast. I don't know, but.
I thought Ashton Daniels played a good football game, man.
Ashton Daniels played a great football game.
I thought he did too, but the drops killed him. I mean, we counted them. What was there? 8, 9, 10 drops they had there.
If Auburn put up 411 yards on offense, 411 yards, and considering if you included them drops in it, I mean, who's to say it wouldn't have been 600 yards? I mean, you don't know, but this is what, it's just the culture in this team right now, man. Just they don't know how to win, they just know how to lose. It's been like that for the last 4 years now, 5 years now. What I will say is if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm licking my chops at that film because I'm gonna tell you, Kyle, Ty Simpson gets rattled when his ass gets smoked. His eyes get that big around, his jaw starts moving. He's not making it right. He's looking one way, and he ain't turning it around again. I seen it. I watched it Saturday, and I'd heard a couple people say that throughout the season. People really haven't got to Ty Simpson this year. I don't know how many times he's been sacked in a game before the Iron Bowl. I'm not really sure how.
Oklahoma pressed him. Oklahoma pressed him pretty good.
I know Auburn got five sacks this game, maybe 4. But that's not including hurries. But Ty also hit his head really hard one time. I was worried that he didn't get it. 3 sacks. There was a lot more.
The one that Isaiah Horton got called for holding. Did y'all see that video?
No, this is the one.
Yeah,
it's a video going around about should this been targeting? Like, let's go back to this. All right, now they're getting a little soft in some of these calls. Like that was a good hit. I don't care what anybody says.
I think the rough and the passer call when Xavier Atkins tripped up and hit his knee was soft too. I think there was bad calls on both sides of the ball because I think I seen K and Lee pass interference.
The pressure when they put it on Ty Simpson end zone, he threw the ball up and the guy pushed off. Isaiah Horton pushed off.
That was a push off. That was a push off.
100%.
But I also seen K and Lee pass interference as Isaiah Horton twice and it didn't get called. So I think for the most part. They was letting them play ball. Some of these holding calls were a little outrageous, and I think that that rough and the passer on Xavier Atkins when he was tripped up and it hit him in his knee, I don't know if I would have called that. But I'm not going to.
Here's the thing on that. I agree it's soft, but I saw I can't remember who it was, SEC big guy or SEC guy or something on Twitter said regardless if he's tripped up or not, it's hitting the quarterback at the knees or lower.
Sure. I mean, it's the rule. I'm not going to push on it.
Thank goodness they called it.
I don't think that the officiating was really bad in this game. I know a lot of people made a lot bigger deal out of it than me.
It was better than the Georgia game.
I don't. Did y'all? People need to remember the Auburn and Oklahoma game this year if they want to talk about officiating.
Like, they fired a guy over it.
Yeah.
Look, back to the Ty Simpson. I want to say this because I watched he was sacked 3 times, at least 4 or 5 different times where it's 3rd and 6, and Auburn's literally bringing 7. They're bringing 7, and we're in 14 personnel or 13 personnel. No, not 13, 22, where you got 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and your running back. Our 5 versus their 5. They're blitzing 7. Where's our hot route? Why are we running a 10-yard dig with a shallow cross? Or not shallow cross, a deep cross.
That's what Alabama's
why
run
are we doing that?
That's what they've run all season.
Right,
If you can stop Bama's
100%.
dig, bro, if you can stop their dig, you're stopping them on 3rd down. I don't get it.
But that's what I'm saying. And Grubb is a great offensive coordinator. Why is he not saying, okay, hold on. They're blitzing 7. They've done it 3 or 4 different times on 3rd down. Where's our halfback screen? Where's our Texas route? Where's our angle? Like, where's these route that beat the blitz? They didn't give. Ty Simpson does get rattled, but he can still compete after being rattled. Clearly, he had 3 touchdowns. But there's
I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying,
yeah. No, I know
that first play when he gets up. I'm telling you, bro. I seen it on this that boy. I don't get it. Like it's like he gets scared to death for a second. He's like,
he's got stars. He's trying to see through the stars.
But at the same time, we talked about the missed tackles on that 8-minute drive. I told you, I said, man, this has been an 8-minute drive, 10-minute drive. The same drive that he got the rough of the passer on before that at the 45-yard line on Alabama's side, 4th and 2, they had Ty Simpson in the backfield sacked. And what did he do? He still scrambled to get on the line for the 1st down. And they had 4 guys in the backfield on him.
In the 3rd quarter, when Bama kicked that field goal in the 3rd quarter, they started out around the 50, that drive. Auburn let them convert on 3rd and 5 or longer 4 different times. And it still ended up holding them to a 3rd down and kicking the field goal. But still, you cannot win football games doing that. I'm sorry. If you're holding them to 3rd and 5 for 4 times in a row and they're still finding ways to get the 1st down, brother, come on.
On the other hand, I hate to say it, but Jam Miller getting roughed up and bringing Daniel Hill in, like that he started toting that tater. He was getting
his center of gravity is unreal. Like he did it in the LSU game, did it in the Tennessee game. Like you see him get hit and he's just bowling for another 4 or 5 yards. Jam Miller was having his breakout game, the game that he needed. He was having a game. I hate that he got hurt. He's just struggled injury this year.
Yeah.
Daniel Hill had 39 yards on 11 carries. So he had 3.5 yards. His longest run was 9 yards. Jam Miller had 15 carries for 83. So collectively, even with Simpson, Simpson was tucking the ball and running it too on some QB draws and stuff. 158 yards on 38 attempts. And Auburn had 36 yards on 150. And 158 yards is that's probably the most that was allowed on Auburn this season, rushing.
If it was, I was looking at it. If it wasn't the most, it was the 2nd most.
Yeah, Texas A&M, I think, rushed for the most on them. I think Texas A&M broke 200 on them.
In the first half,
still lost by 6 points. Crazy.
Alabama was loading the box and keeping the quarterback run, Jeremiah Cobb at bay, daring him to throw. And they were stopping Auburn's rush. But then
Cobb had 33 yards.
On the other hand of that, then you start opening up the pass game, and that's where I feel like Ashton Daniels was much better this game than he's been all year.
Ashton Daniels was good up with his feet, a lot better than I thought he was. I knew he could run, but dude was really toting it. And he had 108 yards rushing on 23 attempts. He'd go through his progressions and say, okay, they're covered. Let me get my 5 or 6 yards. He played ball. He played.
Yeah.
This team is so much better than this record. This 5-7 record it's insane. Cam, you know how it is. You get it with state stuff too, but I don't know. Hopefully, Golis will come in there and turn things around for Auburn.
You can believe one thing. If they retain Durkin and they get Golis in there, you will have a much better all-around team next year, balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Jace Matthews, people like that staying. Deuce Knight, he's going to be there. He'll be your – I don't know. Does Ashton Daniels have another year of eligibility or is he done?
He got one more year.
Yeah, he's got another year of eligibility, and I'm not so sure, man. I've been pretty confident on Deuce this year. I'm not so sure at this point now.
Because what about Byron Brown?
That's what I was just looking up.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Byron Brown because he was junior. I thought he was transferring.
Oh, he's a stud.
Would likely to transfer.
He's a freaking stud.
Byron Brown is one of 12 FCS players ever in history to throw for 3,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards in a single season. Yeah.
You'll pick up probably a lot of people from South Florida come to Auburn. They'll have to take some people off the roster.
Yeah. They got to pull scholarships.
Yeah. But going back to Deuce, man, I honestly do not know. I don't know if he's staying. Couldn't answer that for you right now. But I'm also at the point, and I told y'all this last night too, and I still stand behind it. I don't care who stays or who goes at this point. We got to do something different around there, man. No matter what it takes, you got to make a change. I mean, let's talk about this top 15. Let's talk about this top 15 roster. Went 5-7 this year, 6-7. 5-7 this year, 5-7 last year, 6-7 the year before, 6-4 the year before that. So does it really matter if you have a top 15 roster and you're,
coaching,
man, you're right. Coaching. I mean,
Byron Brown's a senior.
Is he a senior or
red shirt?
Because he still has his
graduate season.
It doesn't say on ESPN.
Now your fifth-year seniors will be labeled as graduates.
I don't think he's a red shirt. I think he come in and started playing right away.
Bring him on.
I hope he's a redshirt senior.
I don't think so.
Get him going.
He's thrown for 3,158 yards. He's not. So that's something to think about. I don't know. We'll see. We got to assume that Jackson Arnold's gone. So we'll see where he ends up.
Oh, you're not missing nothing there, buddy. You're not missing nothing there. Maybe he go to LSU.
No.
Yeah, he can go to LSU.
I betted by soul on Jackson Arnold this year.
Yes, you did.
I betted by soul on that kid to be good.
So. Ooh, Byron Brown does have.
All right. Anyway, this is gonna wrap it up. Is that possibly a Cam 2.0?
Possible, man. That dude's a stud. He's good. He can run.
I
he
hope
can run a stallion.
He's from Raleigh.
Dude. All right, let me ask you this, because Ashton Daniels has only got 1 year eligibility. Byron Brown's only got 1 year eligibility. But Deuce is getting redshirted. If Byron Brown says that he wants to come to Auburn, do you tell Ashton Daniels to pack it up?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, he's been with Golis the whole time.
Yeah, you
Golis Golis is a dog. Y'all see them? Y'all saw him in that post game with North Texas where he just walks up, shakes hand, keeps rolling. He's a dog. I bet you he'd walk to Ashton Daniels. Hey, you did good last year, but it wasn't for me. Bye.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I love? You know what I love the most about it? You know what I love the most about it? He doesn't golf. He hates golf.
Awesome.
He hates golf.
Major upgrade. He'll be watching film instead of getting tea time on Sundays.
Jeez.
All right, live show Thursday night. Check us out. We got I'm sure there'll be a lot more developing news this week, and we will break down the college football playoff bracket, and we're going to go into the conference championship predictions. So make sure y'all tune in, like, and subscribe. We will see y'all Thursday. Huh?
No, I was about to say, isn't this the fifth time in 7 years or 8 years that Georgia and Bama are playing the SEC title?
Yeah, I'm so sick of watching.
It's getting old, dude. It's
getting old.
We'll talk about it Thursday.
Later.
You've been listening to The Common Fan. See y'all next time. Same tailgate.